Hi, Simon here, and this is Deus Ex, one of the best games ever made. Certainly my favourite immersive sim. It really kind of brought the genre to the
Heads up,
mainstream.
JC. Your brother Paul is on his way to meet you at the dock. The NSF is raiding the island and shots have been fired. I repeat, find Paul. I will monitor your situation from HQ.
Welcome aboard, Agent.
Paul, I thought you were in Hong Kong. Welcome to the Coalition, JC. I might as well start using your code name. Think I've missed my brother's first day? Didn't think you'd have a choice. What's going on? The NSF. They hit one of our shipments. A few of them got away, but we trapped the rest in the statue. What are we waiting for? Looks like a textbook assault. The NSF took one of our agents hostage. The bots are holding the perimeter, but my orders are to hold back and send you in alone. I think someone high up wants to see how you handle the situation. All I've got with me is a pistol and an electric prod. I don't mind a test, but UNATCO better issue some hardware. Remember that we're police. Stick with the prod. It'll stun your opponents or knock them unconscious. A non-lethal takedown is always the most silent way to eliminate resistance. Just in case, though, Manderley wants you to pick an additional weapon. A sniper rifle, a GEP gun, or a mini crossbow.
So, straight off the bat, the game offers you 3 different kind of paths to take in terms of the weaponry that you use. I'm going to pick a crossbow because I want to be stealthy. The GEP gun is kind of slightly overkill as it's a huge rocket launcher. The sniper rifle is okay, but it's problematic in the early game because you get skill points and you level up, and one of your skills is shooting different types of weapons, and if you haven't leveled up that kind of type of weapon, you're really inaccurate, and I think a lot of people didn't like that about the game. I'm going to take the crossbow anyway.
Sometimes you've got to make a silent takedown.
Good thinking. With these tranquilizer darts, you'll have another non-lethal way to take down an enemy in addition to the prod.
I get the idea. What's the first move?
I'm going to give you a map of the island. If you can get to the North Dock, a UNATCO informant will give you a key to the statue doors. He responds to the code phrase, iron and copper. You could avoid a lot of fighting, though, if you found a back way to the statue.
I'll see how it looks on shore.
Your primary objective is the makeshift command center the terrorists have installed at the top of the statue. But don't forget about Agent Herman. We think he's being held on the ground floor.
What are my orders when I reach the command center?
Interrogate the leader. We don't yet know why the terrorists would risk an open assault.
So straight off the bat, you've been given multiple ways to go into your target, multiple objectives in fact. One of them's optional. You've got like several paths. They've hinted that there's a back path in. And as this is a immersive sim, there's lots of interaction with the environment, and so much detail.
My orders are to stay here.
Let's go have a talk with this guy.
What's your take on the situation, Corporal?
The bots have them bottled up, sir. We'd go right in if it weren't for the whole back order.
How'd they get one of our agents?
Gunter went rogue on us. When the order came, he wouldn't pull back. Now you get to bail him out.
So, as I was saying with the exploration, you can drop into the water and there's some fish AI that you can go annoy. But I've spotted some crates that I want, which have a multi-tool inside, which is a hacking device, and a biocell, which is the resource that you need for your augmentations.
They come this way, I got them, sir.
So I'm going to get my electric prod out. In fact, I'm going to give that a second. I'm going to go smash these crates. This opening level is really interesting because it's a big, wide open playground.
NSF everywhere, JC. Your orders are to shoot on sight. A UNATCO informant on the North Dock can get you inside the statue. Look for a bum. Identify yourself with the phrase, iron and copper.
If there's a criticism of this map, is it's too open and perhaps doesn't have enough conversation and exploration like some of the other levels do.
If you want to make a covert approach, remember the Academy's stealth course. Stay out of their field of view, walk slowly to stay quiet, and crouch behind cover. Or if you have to get your hands dirty, remember that a headshot is a lethal takedown.
So I can pick things up. I can move bodies. But what I'm going to do at the moment is I'm going to jump up here. And it's a bit of a simple puzzle just to teach people that they can stack things. So I've just scared some birds. That's a really nice part of this game, which I liked, and wasn't in the later Deus Ex games, at least the new ones, is wildlife. And I think if you're creating a world, wildlife is a really simple way just to make it more than just the game systems. So I've picked up a gas grenade, which is another non-lethal tool that I can use. I don't know whether I'll use it on this guy, or maybe wait till there's another better target. My crossbow, I can shoot people, but it takes several seconds for them to get knocked out by it. So I have to be careful, otherwise I could lead a lot of enemies towards me. Deus Ex was one of the first games where you could do a non-lethal run-through. And there's a good reason to do a non-lethal run-through. It's a bit of a spoiler, but not everyone who is a bad guy in this game is a bad guy at the end, and not all the good guys are good guys either. The game has a really, really kind of huge world that they've created. They effectively got every single modern conspiracy theory and kept adding them until they had all of them, and then removed all of them until the game kind of made sense. And it's very interesting because there was a lot of really very random things in the game, and they took them out. And whereas you imagine games design would be creating your game design document and it being perfect, especially for a game so popular and so praised as Deus Ex, you'd expect the first draft would have been really, really solid, but it was very iterative, and a lot of things were cut. Some things still kind of could have been cut and maybe have made the game better, but it's interesting to see the game as a whole and then to learn about how it was put together. So I'm just stealthing it around. So there's a guy here who I could probably sneak up on. So if I get my prod out.
That's the difference right there. Just take a look at him.
Bad?
They cut off his arm, replaced half his face.
Herman, right? He's a good soldier. Killed 3 of our men.
They'd have replaced his whole body if it would have improved performance. That's how you judge a man? By performance? Then eventually it's not about people, but upgrades, versions, functionality.
All I know is we could use a few mechs for ops like this.
Soon as we buy into the cult of the machine, we're just like them.
Rhetoric. Always more rhetoric.
Quiet. I think we got cops.
I didn't mean to do that. I want to go to my inventory, and I'm going to get the gas grenade. And we're going to throw it at these guys, although I have...
Someone there? Fascist.
I'm just going to pick up my prod again and take these guys out. Oh. Maybe not. I've gassed myself. Let's shoot him at a distance with the tranq darts. So that didn't really go to plan, but as with any good immersive sim... Ooh, a dart that's stuck in the wall. As with any good immersive sim, you can improvise, and you have the tools to improvise. 2 guys over there, I could probably listen in on their conversation too. I don't know if there's any reason to. But I'm going to see if I can get to that dock that I was told about. I assume it's around here somewhere. I can't quite remember. I got this game in probably about 2001. And I had a E-Machines PC, which was really, really terrible. And it was before I was kind of freelancing or doing anything like that, so I just had to kind of put up with it. And halfway through the game, or even maybe later in the game, my computer had an unmountable boot volume and I lost everything on it, including my Deus Ex save games. So I then had to play through the entire game again, and I've actually since then played through the entire game maybe another 3 or 4 times. There's so much to see, and there's so many hidden things to find, so many different approaches to take. So I found a hazmat suit which will let me travel through dangerous environments. There's a ladder here and a multi-tool hidden.
This power box must have been damaged in the raid. Don't cross through the arcs. I'm also picking up an EMP field here. If you're not careful, it'll suck away your bioelectrical energy.
So here I've got a kind of a puzzle, and I have multiple ways that I could do this. Obviously I seem to have a forklift here, so I could maybe jump up on it and use that to jump over. There's a fuse box here, so I could probably turn off the electricity. There's boxes as well around here, so I could pick up a box. Use that to jump up, although it's not quite big enough, that one, so yep, there's another one. And this is the thing about Deus Ex, it's about being given different options and solving problems with the tools you have. Although I said I'm very bad at box stacking. There we go. So I've been rewarded with some skill points. And some weapons modifications, so I can upgrade weapons using these. So that was one that gives them a larger clip and one that gives them a laser. And another bioelectric cell. Again, I could either go back through that and lose some bioenergy, or put what I'm carrying down. Use some boxes, stack them, jump over. I mean, box stacking used to be the pinnacle of games design. It's funny how weirdly quaint that seems now. I remember lots of people praising Half-Life 2's box stacking and what was it, the seesaw minigames. So there's a little rat running around the floor. Just stuff like that. I mean, this is kind of one of the things that reason why I spend so much time on Maya, just putting in little details. It's so important. So here there's some crates and things, so it looks like I can get up onto the statue using that. But I'm going to go down to the dock. I'm not sure if this... I think this robot is actually friendly. Although as I'm doing a non-lethal playthrough, I don't want to accidentally lure any NSF towards it, because it will kill them. I mean, that is a tactic I could use.
It all happened an hour ago. The barge docked and the NSF moved right on in, offloading the cargo into speedboats. Our undercover man, Harley Philbin, should be somewhere out on the docks now.
So I don't have any stuff for my electric prod. But if I maybe use my tranq dart, I've got 3 shots. This is one of the issues of doing a no-kill run is I'm not sure if the baton counts as a non-lethal attack. As you see, you get more accurate as you wait. That obviously, if you upgrade that to a higher level, you become more accurate. Oh, and let's run away now. I'm being shot at. Oh. No.
That's him. He's a cop.
Oh. Okay. I could try and pick up the tranq darts that he was shooting at me. I can't see where he's fired them though. So I've got 4 rounds of tranq darts. And loads of ammo. TNT crates, which you can use. You could shoot them, or you could set up some sort of trap using mines and things. This seems interesting. I'm gonna jump up top of here, see if... I guess it's just a stack of crates. So I've noticed a medical box and a pigeon. Oh, not a pigeon, a seagull. Go away. So I have an inventory. What I probably should have done is put a larger... I could put a laser on my tranquilizer dart, and that I think improves the accuracy. Put away my weapon. And that's the New York cityscape, and it lacks the Twin Towers, which was a thing that actually happened after the game, but they just decided to say that they were destroyed in a terror attack. Because, of course, at the beginning of the game, the Statue of Liberty has been destroyed in a terror attack, or damaged in a terror attack. And, yeah, it was a bit too prescient.
About time you showed up. Iron and copper. The statue is copper on an iron frame, right?
Password's enough, pal. Don't think you know something about the lady I don't. My dad did tours out here.
I heard that you can get me inside.
Depends. You get your man out, take back the statue, whatever. But I know the commander and I don't want to see him get hurt. Here's a picture so you don't make a mistake.
You can trust me.
I'll take your word. Here's the key to the front entrance. Commander's not much of a soldier. He'll surrender as soon as he sees you. I need him alive because he's my main contact at the NSF. If he's dead, I don't have much of a business.
Thanks.
So there's quite a lot of people in the game pushing you towards non-lethal attacks. I think these flares are probably not much use, but why not? If I can pick things up, I'm going to take all of them.
You with Philbin?
I get a cut for bringing him over.
Tell me what you know about the NSF operation.
I'm not that high level. The more elite troops, they're the ones that took over the ship and unloaded it into speedboats. I think we're supposed to be a diversion.
A ship?
That's all I know. The commander gave me a 10mm clip, a box of 30-06 ammo, and some crossbow darts, and said keep your head down. Huh, like I'm gonna take on your NATCO troops. Want 'em? You can have the clip for 175, the 30-06 for 300, and the darts for 50. But if I was you, I'd avoid a head-on attack altogether and not even use the key Philbin got. I'd go in the statue from the back. Less security that way.
So I could really do with those darts.
I'll
So
give you 50 for the darts.
The commander's the whole reason my neighborhood turned into a war zone. Somebody should stick him full of these things like a roast pig.
I will take that into account. Thank you, lady. I've always wondered, I don't think I could be bothered to do it, but I think you can actually jump off this dock and... Wait, is there a boat down there? I've always wondered if you could jump off the dock and just swim all the way around and just avoid all those guys by swimming. This is interesting. I don't think I have enough O2. Oh, well, there you go. There's just... That's interesting. Swimming is a skill that I could level up, but it's not particularly useful, apart from in cases like this. There's probably some nice goodies down there. Again, the game's just massively detailed, rewards exploration, has all these like systems that tie together. And characters who are not goodies or baddies, but have their own motivations. It's just a shame that maybe this first level is a bit kind of barren and quite large. It's also quite difficult. There are probably more NSF troops here than any other bad guys in the game. Whoops.
Good thinking. You might be able to avoid some of the security by entering this way.
So one thing I'm going to do here is I'm going to save, because I have a feeling that this is the kind of place where I might fall down and die. The save games in Deus Ex are actually very interesting. They obviously couldn't find a way to save like a good state of the game, so what they did is they actually saved the save games into level files, so you can actually open them up in the editor, and they're editable files, which is actually quite interesting if you are hunting for secrets and things. I used to go in and like delete walls and stuff to find cut content. So I have the choice now. I could go up, or I can go find Herman and save him. I wish I had more prod ammo. Maybe one of these NSF troops will have some. Oh, yeah, he looks like he has a crossbow.
That's him. He's a cop.
Just gonna run away, hide. Although he started running away as he took too much damage. Oop.
Take him out.
Wow, that guy's taking a lot of tranquilizer darts. I only have 3 rounds. I don't know whether I should maybe save them.
Take him out.
Yell of pain. I'm down to 2 rounds. So I have a choice here. I could go downstairs where I know Herman is being held. Maybe hack a computer or something to get a door open to let him out. There's cameras. Whoa. Cameras and alarm systems to avoid. Maybe I could just... Nope. Okay, there's a camera and a turret, so let's maybe give that camera a few seconds to turn the other way. Pick up the box and see if there's anything good in it. A lockpick. Well, that might be useful. I think Herman, as an agent himself, can get out on his own, which he can, it turns out. And if I go up the stairs, maybe I could get to the commander without hurting any more people.
Did they find the shipment? Yeah, we got the whole supply. You can see the ship's lights crossing the bay. Guess y'all were right. So why aren't we pulling out? Mike's on the horn. Jojo wants a lead on the distribution network. Yeah, we don't have enough men to protect what we've got. That's what Jojo wants. I wonder, how does a guy with a tattooed forehead get to be an NSF colonel? Pardon me, but back in Alabama, we wouldn't let a man who wears earrings plan a military operation. I'd watch what I say about Jojo. He's got a temper. He's a punk and he's gonna get us all killed. The NSF is strong because it represents everyone's interests. Yeah.
Good. You're nearing the command center. Agent Herman remains in captivity on the ground floor, but we can probably get him out. Keep moving. Some news, JC. The NSF targeted a shipment of the plague vaccine Ambrosia. We can't locate it. See if the leader will surrender when you reach the command post. We'd like to interrogate him.
Let's get out of here.
I'm standing my ground.
The troops pulled back. They must be sending agents.
This is it, Private.
I saw somebody.
Oh, it's time to run.
Easy. We want you to take this one alive and conscious. Find out what you can.
Don't shoot. I surrender.
So you think you know better than FEMA what to do with this month's Ambrosia shipment?
You're too late. It's on its way back to the people, and you can't do a damn thing about it.
Except send you back to the people in her body bag. So,
Tell me about this
branching
shipment, and I'll order
conversation.
the troops to pick you up as a prisoner instead of a corpse.
Ask away. We already won this round.
Where are you taking it?
We're just giving ordinary people the same chance to survive as the bureaucrats in Washington.
You'll have to unload in New York because the choppers would spot you at sea.
I think the government made the plague on purpose to get rid of the population growth.
Well done. I will pass on your orders to the troopers. Report back to base on the west side of the island. Mission complete.
So, this guy here's...
She finally let us loose. We were right behind you and cut through them like a hot knife through butter.
This guy here's a UNATCO trooper, so he's on your side, but when he comes up, you might panic and you might shoot him. And if you do, it actually gets mentioned
I'll take it from here.
by a character later in the game when you're being debriefed. They go, what happened to the guy you came up into the thing? And it's like, oh, maybe friendly fire? There's so many little details like this in the game.
Good work, Agent.
It's very expensive to develop like this, but it really, really pays off. When you're playing Deus Ex, you really feel like everything that you might do could have some influence.
For a long time.
Just answer the question.
Don't believe me? It's all in the numbers. For 100 years, there's been a conspiracy of plutocrats against ordinary people.
You have a single fact to back that up.
Number one, in 1945, corporations paid 50% of federal taxes. Now they pay about 5%. Number two, in 1900, 90% of Americans were self-employed. Now it's about 2%.
So?
It's called consolidation. Strengthen governments and corporations, weaken individuals. With taxes, this can be done imperceptibly over time.
I guarantee you that the interrogation staff at UNATCO will not be as forbearing as I am.
Yeah, the secret police. You're just bullies for a completely illegitimate government in Washington.
We will locate that shipment one way or another.
The entire executive branch is handpicked. 19 of the last 23 U.S. presidents have been members of the Trilateral Commission. The Trilateral Commission is financed by the Rockefellers and the Rothschilds. Don't tell me.
That's a think tank. Anyone can become a member.
But not everyone does. That's why they call it the secret government.
I'll take it from here.
This guy's wrong, but everyone in the game's also a conspiracy theorist, and some of the conspiracies are true.
With bullets.
Some of the writing's a bit heavy-handed, some of the characters say things that real people won't say, but it all seems to fit in the world. Your characters are kind of neutral, but intelligent and thoughtful. Agent is kind of refreshing as well. I can pick up cigarettes and smoke them. Oh no, they got killed. I didn't. Let's just throw the body of... Oh no, it won't let me. So the PS-20 is a small plasma gun that fires a single round of a plasma gun that you get later in the game, which is pretty powerful. But in this case, it's mostly useful for just like destroying a single camera or turret or something. So now I need to head to my debrief. I've missed a lot of details in this thing. I could have gone downstairs and rescued Herman. I could have hacked their security. There's plenty of things I could have picked up.
We've already searched the bodies and delivered the enemy munitions to the quartermaster.
I won't get to come back to this island, so I'm going to just go through and pick up anything that might have been useful.
Gunther slipped out on his own. Report back to base.
So here I could have hacked this security terminal and let Gunther out, who's our agent who's been captured. Can have a read of the newspaper. One of the things that was a bit weird in, say, Mankind Divided was games with mirrors in. You don't get them anymore due to rendering pipeline issues. Unlike Mankind Divided, you can't... in Mankind Divided, when you, say, read an email, it might say something interesting about somewhere, and it might hint towards a place you can go. But they rarely have codes in, or they rarely change or move the story forward. Whereas in Deus Ex, they sometimes can. You can learn things. Well, this dead body's been dead for a while because it's got flies on it. So here's a door. With doors, you can either pick them, or you can actually damage them by shooting them. I don't know if this gun's not powerful enough to blow it down, but... There you go, more passwords and things. These lambs are explosives that you could use to blow up a door. So I'll save that for later though, I think. I find with games like this I often become a bit of a hoarder. So there was a robot out of here that I could have used an EMP grenade on. I could have also gone... Oh, where am I going? I could have also gone back to the UNETCO HQ, and there's a door which you can open up with 0451, of course. Interesting fact about the 0451 passcode and its reference to Fahrenheit 451 is Fahrenheit 451 is not the temperature at which paper starts to burn. The theory is the guy rang his publisher and asked the question, and he gave the answer in centigrade.
Don't worry about the bodies. We'll handle the cleanup.
Which is a more sensible thing. 451 centigrade is about temperature, which...
Heard you went a little soft on the NSF. The guys had to mop up for you.
I used necessary force.
Well, necessary force won't work when we chase these sons of bitches into the city. You better load up on some hardware.
Shouldn't you turn that stuff over?
Carter? We don't care. NSF goods are the spoils of war.
So this guy's interesting. If I'd gone to him at the beginning, I could have promised to be more violent, and I think he would have given me a better deal on these. And in fact, you can buy it before going into the battle or the...
Here's 60 for the tranquilizer darts.
So much for that minimum force approach.
Tranquilizer darts are minimum force. What are you on about? So if I'd made him like me, he would have told me the door code to this communications bunker.
Way to go, sir.
Luckily I know it off by heart. So I've been given the password to that. Although it doesn't automatically remember it, so I'm just going to hack it because I can't be bothered to. There's a few rough edges like that, like it's hard to remember all the hints. I think you do have a journal system of some sort. I'm just going to open the door. Things like the camera system. I mean, Duke Nukem had the camera system as well, or had a camera system, but I think Deus Ex's is really nice, and I mean, sometimes I feel that it's actually better than the ones in the new Deus Ex games. The new Deus Ex games are an interesting thing to talk about. I really like them, and Mankind Divided is just... I spent 40 hours playing it last month. It's really, really great, but one of the major failings of the game is they try and tie it in with this existing game, which is strange because they've gone far more science fiction, and I think maybe their Japanese owners caused this happen. They have a much more kind of almost anime thing with, you know, guys in big suits, and it's a lot more cartoony. One of the reasons why Deus Ex really works for me is I find that it's almost the world we live in, and the further away you get from that, the harder or the easier it is to lose your suspension of disbelief. I know one of the developers in an interview said that, you know, he was making, I think it was Harvey, but he was basically saying that he was making this from the 70s and people complained about it, but really, like, it's the world we live in, and so it feels a lot more realistic.
We've got the island secured. How did things look in the statue? The leader surrendered. So they were after Ambrosia. A month's supply for the East Coast. We think they've taken it back to the city. I didn't know UNATCO handled the Ambrosia distribution. Manderley will brief us shortly. UNATCO makes sure the limited supply of vaccine gets to government agencies and key industries. It's good to finally see some action. Just keep a level head. You're doing well so far. Now get inside. I'll meet you in Manderley's office, level 2.
So, down into the UNATCO HQ, which is a really great little environment. It's got some really great music, has nice shiny reflective floors, and lots of people to talk to, computers to hack.
Pretty smart. It's my first day too. I'm pretty excited.
Things to pick up.
Check in with Manderley on level 2.
So I'm going to save here, and maybe we might come back to this. Let me know if you do want to see more Deus Ex, and I'll do some more videos and talk about some of the other games design in there. Cool. I'll see you guys later. Bye.